Hey, Internet.
Welcome to the InTalksicated Podcast, a weekly comedy talk show that dives into the personal lives of comedians, experts, and creators. I'm your host, Sarah McClellan, a very amateur stand-up comedian and self-proclaimed sad girl. Every week, I dive into who people really are, the good, the bad, and everything in between. It's the comedy podcast with a lot of heart. Feel hard and talk hard. This is
The InTalksicated Podcast.
We like
Support local, even if they're cunts.
Can you make that? I just want to suggest like segments the whole time. Can you have a segment called "Burning Bridges with Small Businesses"?
Yes, but only if I can alternate it with comics.
Because like it gets you so fucking canceled if you ever say anything bad about a small business. It's a small business.
We're also both from, well, all three of us, I guess, are from small towns. And so being from small towns, it's even worse. Like, you can't burn bridges with small businesses.
I have a bone to pick with Cafe Laura.
I saw their coffee that they put like
This
a
was
dash
the
of
second
cream.
time I gave them another chance because I was like, maybe that was a bad day.
Third chance.
Maybe that was a bad day.
The second time I gave them another chance.
It's hard.
Fuck. It was definitely, this is the first time I gave them a second chance. There we go. Just the drip coffee. I'm just a basic coffee bitch. I just want a little cream to just like lighten it up a bit.
Yep.
Give it a little bit of creaminess. They always, and I don't know if like their coffee is just already really weak, but they always put so much cream in it. And then it's like, it literally just tastes like, I don't even know, like warm cream pretty much.
Yeah.
And it's just so annoying.
I can't do cream in my coffee already, like, because I'm a milk person. I'd rather milk in my coffee than cream. But yeah, I can only imagine if it's just like cream in water. You get skim milk, basically.
Yeah.
With a dash of espresso.
Pretty much that's what it is. And it's just like, ugh. And it's just so frustrating because they're already like pricier than normal because they're like kind of a hipstery place.
Yeah, it's a beautiful spot, but
But why don't you do the one? You're a coffee shop.
I know.
Yeah.
That's the one thing you're
Aren't you
to be,
supposed
like,
to do
kinda
coffee
good
Don't you know
good?
how to make coffee? I'm a sociopath because I
What's
don't drink
happening?
coffee. I don't drink coffee at all.
Oh, you don't drink any coffee?
I don't like it.
Oh,
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah. Now, I mean, everyone's like, you have to go to Europe and like have real coffee. And I'm like, okay, like someday I will, like sure, like whatever. Like I'm all for trying things. But at least the coffee around these parts, I'm just not into it. Just
Not
feeling
into
it.
it.
Yeah, I don't drink coffee. And I think part of it is that I grew up in a non-coffee drinking household.
Yeah. Which, I mean, you'll find a lot in the Maritimes. There's a lot of just tea drinking.
A tea
households.
drinking
Tea.
households. Yeah.
Orange Pico.
Yep.
Yeah. My mom does Red Rose and Tetley in the same pot. One bag of each.
Oh, shit.
It's a special little family secret.
That's a game
just for
changer.
you.
So you guys know about the bell? Or
No.
do you?
No.
We do.
It's a yes bell.
Okay.
I agree.
Okay.
Okay.
Good point.
Okay.
Good job.
I love it. Grace will be fine. She'll be fine.
It's like too much validation for both of you.
I'm a narcissist.
Oh my god, I love it. I think you kind of have to be a little bit of a narcissist to like host and produce a podcast.
Where's the line between narcissist and just like confident?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
There
loving
is the
yourself.
line. There is the
Self-love.
line. I just don't know what it is.
We
I
haven't
am
crossed it.
getting a picture on like a canvas picture of me with the glitter tears put on
Yes.
my wall, like big, like for that. I think I'm gonna put it right on that wall there.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's a little narcissistic.
No.
No.
Like
No, I
putting
like
art
it.
in your apartment of yourself.
But it's your art. That's the art you make.
I
This
would
podcast.
agree. Yeah, and then whenever someone says, you need to love yourself more, I'll just be like, look, bitch, my apartment's full of me.
Full of self-love. I think we haven't said it on the podcast for a while, but for a while we were touting positive narcissism.
Yeah.
Like, just like
Oh, I
positive.
love
Positive narcissism is cool.
that.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Positive narcissism.
Yeah.
Well, because narcissism has there's a bad stigma attached to that word.
Yeah, for sure.
There
And I
shouldn't
think for a reason.
Oh, yeah,
But
that's true.
Also, like, I think it came out of, it was still the Trump administration, and they were just like, narcissism.
It was the Trump administration, my breakup with a narcissist, and
Yes.
just like
convergence of a lot of situations.
yeah. So we like coined this term on the show, positive narcissism, and it really is like taking back that power and being happy with
Yeah.
talking about yourself.
Because people are going to call you a narcissist when you're being confident if they don't like what you're doing.
Or you're attention seeking.
Yeah.
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 It's like, sure, I am, but I'm not hurting anybody.
Yeah.
As long as you're not. A lot of people also get confused with, like, they think narcissism is exactly like being a sociopath.
Yes.
And it's not true at all,
No,
apparently.
it's not. It's not. My stepdad, Paul, according to Reader's Digest, he meets 26 of the 30 statistics of a sociopath. And he's not narcissistic at all. So...
I do know a lot of sociopaths.
I mean, that opens another conversation, but that is the bright side. He's not a narcissist.
he's a high school principal. It all makes sense.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That would do it.
Yeah.
But I suppose we're going to get into it. I'm not going to do the
Yes.
thing where I talk for 15 minutes and then finally be like, oh, we're here with a guest. That's what I did with...
So good.
That's what I did with Justin. Justin's episode. It was like 15 minutes. We were talking about music, then we started talking about his fiance, and then I was just like, oh, I have to introduce you. You guys, I'm so excited. This has been such a long time coming. I am here with the amazing hosts of the Minute Women podcast. You better fucking subscribe to that shit. Well, not right now. Well, actually, no. You can keep listening and also subscribe to them.
Yeah.
But finish this episode first, and then. But yes, the amazing host of Minute Women podcast, Linnea Swinimer.
That's me.
I did it.
She did it. She said my whole name.
And Grace McNutt.
Yeah.
Thanks for having us.
Oh
This
my
is so
God,
exciting.
this is wildly exciting.
It is. It's so exciting.
I
I've never been on camera before.
No.
Never been on camera.
No.
Well, you might get addicted to it, and then you might want to do it.
I'm trying not to look. I can kind of see it, but it's like I'm just trying to pretend it's not there.
Girl,
not to
you
look.
don't even know. Like, there's like the episode I did with Jade, which is this week's episode, which is coming out tomorrow on YouTube. I was like looking at the footage back, and I was just like, oh God, I hate. Like, there's some video episodes where I'm just like, oh, this is torture. Like
Yeah.
watching my face.
no.
But like, you'll find little moments where you look good. But like when it's like a full episode,
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, you really see everything about like how you emote and express, and
That's
Yeah.
true.
kind of humbling.
Yeah.
I gotta say.
To be fair, my mother told me once, my mother, whom I love, told me that I was definitely better in video than I am in pictures. Like that I'm not
They need the
photogenic.
I feel that way about
And
myself.
I totally agree though. Like I find I look very awkward in pictures. My mom's like, you don't look like yourself. But like in video, like you actually look like yourself because you're moving. Like so much of you is like your movement and like how you talk and like how you say things.
I feel the opposite. I do because
I look beautiful in pictures.
No, but then like when you took a video of me running because I was playing softball. And it's like, and I commit. Like I'm very competitive.
I know
and
you
so
are.
I'm like booking it because I get this like little hit and I'm booking it to first
Yeah.
base.
Yeah, she was.
Watching myself run, I'm like, oh my God. Like the level of like uncoordinated effort I am putting into running just I was just like, no, I think I'm athletic, but then I look at that and I'm like, how could I ever think
No,
I'm
you are
athletic?
though. That's just you're just not. You're just critiquing yourself about how you look.
It's
It
true.
doesn't take away from being a good.
My athleticism.
Athleticism is like 50% mental and you have that down.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you.
That I mean, Jesus Christ, we're already getting into like assumptions and shit.
Oh, yeah.
Because
Sorry, we're treading on the
Well,
format.
no,
Sorry.
don't even worry. It's just sometimes I wait, and then sometimes like you'll say something that I'm like, okay, this ties into my assumptions. Let's get to it right now. So we might as well get to the assumption
Yeah.
segment. Don't punch me in the face. Ow. Right now,
I'm so excited.
this
This was the most.
Yeah,
I was
this is what I'm most
nervous
excited.
about it.
I'm nervous, but
Everyone's
excited.
nervous, but like I'm never gonna say anything too mean.
It's fine.
Oh, I said too mean.
Yeah, it's like
I'm ready.
Who should I start with?
it
'Cause
won't
Grace,
crush your soul, but
Either or.
for context, Grace and I have like worked together.
Yeah, I was
As
saying to
coworkers.
Linnea, I was like, I'm nervous because Sarah, like, we worked at a desk next to each other for 3 months. So I was like, what kind of assumptions does someone learn about me in that context?
So this is the assumption I will do, and it kind of covers both of you.
Okay.
Okay. Because Linnea, you and I have only hung out a couple times.
yes,
Really, was it just the podcast that we hung out?
really
We
just
met-
the show.
Yeah, when I did Minute Women, which go listen to that.
Well, I
so
met
fun.
you the first time. I think both of us met you was when we came to Post East originally to to record.
That's right.
To record or to
with
just meet
Jesse and
the guys
Reese,
that-
right?
Yeah, and you were just there, and you were having a blue hair crises.
Yes.
That's
right. I forgot.
And you were like, does it look blue? Like, I never met you before. And you literally put your head like in my face and you were like, does it look blue in this light?
But the problem was also like we didn't know if that's what you wanted. So
yeah, we were like, you were like, but does it look blue? You didn't give us like, I tried to dye my hair blue. Like, I really wanted to be blue. Or like, I think the girl messed up. My hair looks blue. You were just like, is it blue?
I hadn't really known you, but I knew like jet black hair was like the thing. So I was like, is she worried that someone like made her hair blue by accident?
And we were like,
my
it looks great. It just looks
It looks
great.
great.
It looks great.
Just
Whatever you want,
It
it's
looks
great.
good. It looks great. You're beautiful.
What a chaotic and terrible time to meet somebody.
I'm sorry.
When a girl is going through like that, I think I don't know if it's worse or better than meeting someone before a comedy show. What
Hair
Because
crises.
Sarah and I talk about this all the time. Whenever like a friend that you haven't seen in a while like comes to a comedy show and comes up to you right before you go up, because the pre-show mode is quite stressful. A lot of us are freaking out,
Yeah, it
and
makes
like we
you a
don't know
different
what
person.
jokes we're doing, and we're like writing our sets, and we're like very nervous. Like even comics that have been doing it for so long, they still get a weird, like they go into a weird zone where they just can't. You can't talk to anyone because you got to channel it for the stage,
Right.
And so it's a very strange, weird time to like. We have a new friend, and we met her boyfriend right before a show. It was just like, I am so sorry that I'm like not talking to you, and like I'm in this weird space, but like please know that I wanna get to know you. It's just that was a terrible time. But a hair crisis, like that's just a whole other level because that whole thing. I mean, my hair still hasn't changed. It's still. Like it needs to be dyed black again, but it's still patchy, and I'm still dealing with like the bleach
fallout
coming
of the
through.
blue.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll never do. I'm not meant to have fun hair.
Okay.
I'm just not.
Understood.
I'm just not. Like I like people with fun hair. I want to be them, but I don't think it's meant for me.
To be them.
I want to be them.
Yeah.
Like girls who I see like with like bright blue hair, like bright pink hair. Like I'm just like I'm so jealous, and I want to be that fun, but I'm not. Anyway, assumptions. This actually ties in great. So my assumption was
About the two of us or me?
this is kind of both.
Okay.
So
Okay.
when it comes to being, this is something we talk about on the podcast a lot, people pleasing.
Okay.
I feel like you're more of a people pleaser than Grace.
Oh.
I think I'd agree with that.
I would
This
agree
is-
with that.
This is why. So you
Yeah.
guys mentioned wanting to like make me happy with the blue hair.
Yeah.
I had both just met you, but after getting to know Grace for a while, you're a little more no nonsense. Am I right?
Yeah.
You're a little more, you're pretty good at like saying how you feel, and you say it delicately or you say it in a nice way, but you do stand a ground. Am I right?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, like, it's from my perspective, no. Maybe because, like, I just am overly annoyed with everyone all the time and I tolerate it. So maybe that just says more bad things about me. But I do think, like, I just don't have much of a tolerance for it, which is one of the
it's the Aries in
things
you.
well, there you go. It's one of the things that I like admire about Linnea is that, and it's not people pleasing. It's just like this ability to try and be like cordial with everyone. And I do not have that tolerance.
Yeah.
That's what I saw. So
At some point, I'm just like,
yeah.
leave me alone.
However,
I don't want to talk.
However, to be fair, well, I'll let you do my assumption first.
Well, my assumption was that you would probably be more of a people pleaser because I had that kind of nudge because you're a sweetheart, number one.
Thank you.
And so whenever I meet a really, really nice person, I get worried because I go,
What do you think my sign is?
You'll be able to guess
I already
it.
know it. I already
Oh.
creeped it. I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay.
But she's
I'm
right?
just
She is
such
a
a cancer.
That's
Like,
the thing. I had that
Yeah.
assumption, and then I checked your Facebook, and I went, "Oh, this all makes sense."
yeah.
I love
Yeah.
cancers though because I'm a Pisces water sign. So
Oh,
you know.
yeah.
But
My mom's a Pisces. I love
is she?
Pisces. Yeah. Yeah.
Do you feel like you are a lot like your sign?
100%.
Okay.
Yeah.
She'll
like
send
too
me,
much.
like, her little astrology charts
like
every day.
too much.
You're a little
Also, she stayed at my place for a while, and because I wasn't there at the time, and then when I came back, her like thank you gift was like a motel keychain with like cancer on it. It's just like, so you always think about me. And I was like, thank you.
So also, Ariana Grande and I have the same birthday. Yeah, that's like my fun fact.
Do you know your birth time?
Yeah, 4:15 a.m.
Do you know your chart?
Yes, not off
Do you
the
know
top
if
of
your
my
charts
head.
are similar to Ariana's?
Oh, I don't know if my charts are similar to Ariana
Oh, you should
Grande's.
look that shit up. Usually, Cafe
You're born on the
Astrology
same-
has celebrities' birth charts.
Well, you guys are born like literally the same day.
We're
right?
born
Like,
the same exact
literally
day,
the same
but
day.
different times. I don't know what
That's
time
the
she
thing
was
that
born.
matters.
That matters more than people think it does.
I don't know, but
Science.
science.
I don't do it.
That's so funny.
Holy shit, that's hilarious.
But yeah, I'm quite the Cancer. Like
It's so hard hearing it out of context.
It
Like,
is.
I'm a Cancer.
It's the worst named
I am
zodiac.
an infectious, terrible disease that will get
Crabs.
into you and not leave.
Also crabs.
I am a
Your
yes.
kindness is infectious.
Oh,
So you gotta put a positive, because that was the thing I instantly knew about you, was that you were very, very nice and kind and sweet.
Oh.
But again, like I get nervous when
To
I meet
your
nice
face.
people because I go,
your face.
I hope they're not people pleasing too much, or I hope they're not like being too nice to people that aren't nice to them. That's why I get worried. That's
Yeah.
why when I see a girl who like I think most people would think is like she's bitchy or I go sweet. She has it together because she's probably not
Yeah.
letting people walk all over her.
No, I have grown a lot. I would say that I grew up as a people pleaser and was like taught to be a people pleaser. And it's taken me years to kind of come into my own to have those bitchy moments where I don't just aim to make everybody happy. And it's really hard. But
God is never hard. Boundaries are hard.
Because ultimately, when you're people pleasing too much, it just like comes out in these like eruptions of anger.
Yeah.
And that's when people are like, "Oh, that person's a bitch. Like,
Yeah.
why is she so mean all of a sudden?"
Right?
But it's like, no, it's like you've just been negging me for months.
Also, if you give and give and give,
yeah.
The tank runs out.
people will come to expect that of you, and then when you all of a sudden set the boundary and you don't give, they're like, what is off about you today? And it's just like,
exactly.
I'm growing.
growing.
You know what I
I'm
mean?
becoming a better person.
Yeah, it's just it is really tough. What about you? Like you're pretty good though.
Yeah, I mean, like, if we're talking about like growing up, I grew up with 3 brothers and a mom who's just like the executive, like no nonsense in this house of boys and me.
Oh, and your father and mother are so in love.
Oh,
Yeah, I have like
So
a healthy. I was saying earlier today, I was like, I have such a healthy family. It's not like character building. It's not exciting.
However,
It's just stable.
I,
That's what
however,
they're- I'm
had
just
some
kidding.
character building growing up. No, you did too. I said that's what the 3 brothers were for.
That's what the 3 brothers are for.
Like, that's a lot of character building.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think, because that's the thing. Like in my mind, I am being people pleasing, but maybe it's just not translating very well. Like I do think that I try to be honest about
Yeah.
everything. Like I think I value honesty more than being kind.
yes.
And so hopefully that comes out. And I don't try to be mean when I'm being
No.
honest, but like if something could be better, I would say it.
No.
I think. Or if like someone is asking something that's unreasonable, it's like you're being a little unreasonable.
Yeah.
Even if it's a lot unreasonable, say it's a little unreasonable.
Do you stay calm though? I feel like you're someone who's good at staying calm and maybe taking that aggression out privately and not to the person.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'm good at being calm in the moment when I am delivering my critique. However, if someone is being very frustrated with me, I do find it very hard to like keep it together sometimes.
Ooh,
It's hard. Like I think it's everyone's instinct. I'm getting better at not crying when people
Well, I
are
was
mad
just
at
gonna
me.
say, so something that
Getting
shocked me was that you are a frustrated crier.
Yeah.
And like,
I don't cry a lot.
and
but-
I am not like I never cry out of anger or frustration. Like I cry out of like real sadness. And I am emotional, so I do cry. Like I've got it's been a rough
Cancer
year.
here, of course you
It's
are.
been a rough year. But Grace will get so like you'll get like hard on yourself and like cry because you feel sad. And that's awful, like as a friend. to like see that, because then it immediately makes, I'm like, okay, whatever I was saying like has absolutely no point or reason, and you're right, and everything's fine, and just like you're not gonna let me hug you, but let's just go do something. I know, but
I never want to cry. Like I never am in the moment being like, I think I should just whip up some tears, and then this argument will really go my way. But it's such an instinct. Like I think the people pleasing thing for me in my brain is always the need to be like really good at stuff. Like
It's perfectionism.
Yeah.
Are you a perfectionist?
Yeah, I was like straight A student, tried to keep up with a lot of extracurriculars, like, and I think it's not a sob story, because I think I did do that fairly decently, but it does like create a sense of stress around not doing well for other people and like not meeting other people's expectations.
Interesting.
Of you.
So that's probably your idea of people pleasing, sort of.
That's my idea.
Interesting.
Of people pleasing. It's not about being something else for people, but it's about meeting their expectations of you. So like in a work setting, I want to be the best coworker possible. And like in a school setting, I want to be the best possible student. And in a friend setting, I want to be like as there for that person as possible. Even if it's like hard to do that. And it's very disappointing if I can't do it.
Huh. I mean, we're all just so fucking hard on ourselves.
Yeah.
It's such a, it's literally like.
But I think you have to be in some way.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it builds character.
It
I know
does.
It's stupid, but like, I think when the pressure is internal, when it comes from within to be the best you can be, like that's the kind of pressure you need.
I love that.
You need to keep yourself in check and in line.
Man.
Yeah.
Because you can't let other people do it. Because that's when you wind up doing shit you don't want to do.
Exactly.
If you're like setting up other people's standards.
So freaking right. Are you both type A personalities?
I am not.
I am.
That was kind of
think
my
in our
other assumption,
relationship I am.
but it felt mean saying it. Because anytime I say that someone's not type A, I feel like it's an insult.
It's an insult.
But I'm not. Like I think people think that I might be because they're like, oh, she does a lot of stuff. But I'm like, oh no, but like in school I was definitely not type A.
I mean, to be fair, like in school, I was a good student. I was a valedictorian of my class. I did the IB program, not diploma like Grace, but I liked school, but school also was really easy for me, and I was okay with being in like high 80s, low 90s. Like I didn't need to be the best. I just needed to do it, and all my other extracurriculars, like I was less focused. Yeah, I was less focused on making good grades than I was on just not doing less than I thought I could, if that makes any sense.
That makes total sense.
And I don't know if that was growing up with two parents. Well, my mom and my stepdad were both in the school system. And so they just wanted me to do my best.
Right.
And so I was like, okay, this is my best. Now, like math and sciences, I was absolute trash at. Like I would not consider myself to be a particularly like school smart, school brained, like academic brain person. But when I want to do well in something, I work extra hard to do it. So like math and science, I really struggled with in school, and I spent every lunch hour like in the math help room, and I made 80s because I worked my ass off. So like, but it like didn't come easy to me. So things that came easy to me, I didn't care about as much as things that I found hard. Things that I struggle with and things that I find hard, that frustrates me. So I want to be better at them, and I want to do well at them. Whereas like English and history, like I liked that stuff. Like that was easy. Like I could remember those things. It made sense and I could do them, and like that was fine for me. And that became a bit of I had a teacher in grade 12. He was like, yeah, like Linnea's smart. Like this is to my mom. He's like, yeah, Linnea's really smart, but like she's going to fail at university because she just like hands things in when she wants to and like doesn't like put her best foot forward unless she feels threatened that like that like she's not gonna do well
unless I make verbal threats.
Yeah. and so I did, and first year university was really hard, but then I didn't fail.
I found first year university very hard.
I didn't fail. I found first year university very hard for like many reasons, but then I didn't like that I wasn't doing well, and so then I got my shit together, and
the fire was under your arse.
And then like every other year after that, I proceeded to do better and better and better, and like that's just kind of how I work. But I am definitely not a type A personality at all.
I think type A and type B are very relative, because I would say to you I am type A, but to other people, like I would say amongst my siblings, I'm pretty low on the type A category.
It's a spectrum.
Like my older brother is very type
Oh,
A.
it's a spectrum. And in some places, like at my work, like at my job, I would say that people would consider me to be type A just because of like how because you have to be.
You wear different hats in different scenarios.
Definitely.
You might be type B in one sort of aspect of your life, but type A in another.
And it's not, I feel like type A, part of it is that you have to enjoy being type A. And even when I'm being,
Do they though?
I don't know, but even
I like being organized.
See, and when I'm at work,
It's
I
stressful
have
when I'm not.
See, when I'm at work, I have to do it and I have to do these things, but I'm like, oh God. Like I don't thoroughly enjoy that aspect of it.
I would think it's like, it's not an enjoyment. It's just like a feeling of like my mental state is genuinely worse when I feel unorganized and like not knowing what every day will bring me.
Yeah.
It's a very common human experience, but like, I just went back to school and the program is a little more loose. Like they just kind of expect you to do what you're supposed to do. There isn't like a whole lot of coursework and stuff. So every day I was just like, what am I doing? Am I meeting the right goals?
You don't have structure.
Am I keeping up? Am I slowing down? Am I like failing yet?
Oh, see, to be fair, I find that very stressful, and I left academia quite a bit earlier than you did, as you're still in academia. But I do find that very hard, and that was very hard for me after I graduated from university, going into a quote unquote real job. And not having someone stand there and tell you what is expected of you every day. I found that exceptionally difficult. And it's only now, I mean, I've been out of university 6 years.
What did you take
6 years?
in uni?
2016.
What's your reason?
2016.
Check the ring.
Check the ring.
Where'd you go?
I went to Acadia.
Okay, when you said ring, I was like, is it an X ring?
No.
Oh yeah, Anna Ganesh girl. I forgot.
Yeah, no.
It's like I just sense my father's disappointment whenever I see an X ring.
Oh my god.
That's one of my jokes. I just literally did a stand-up joke.
Oh, that's funny. But yeah, so it was like I finished there, and it took me a long time. It took me until like now. This is the first position that I've been in that I feel like 100% confident, like making tasks for myself and tasking myself every day. Yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah, it's taken me a while, and I think it's a huge learning curve, obviously. But yeah, I finally now feel comfortable in that.
But going back to what you said about hats, it was really interesting because today in one of my classes, we were just talking about it. There's like a author who wrote, who essentially is like, identities are not hats. You cannot take them off.
Ooh.
And it's
You
like,
just, but you might
mask
hide
them.
Yeah, mask. Maybe that's a better way of saying
I
it.
like
you
that.
are never not your identities and like whatever you bring to the table. That will come to every table you ever sit at.
I like that
shit.
a lot.
Interesting.
Your
They're
experiences
fluid,
come with
said.
you.
Like they're fluid. Like you kind of like evolve and morph and change over time, but it's not something you just can take on and take off.
Well, if you think of it in terms of like a relationship, when you're dating somebody, you know, usually you see different sides of this person gradually. It comes out in these little moments that aren't planned, and you know what I mean? It's not like I'm going into girlfriend mode. I'm going into producer mode.
I was going to say, otherwise known as red flags.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or they could be red flags.
They could be.
Let's not assume everything's but yeah, no, it's a gradual thing when you're getting to know someone. Like these different aspects of their personality come out, and then you kind of see different sides of people, which I find so fascinating.
Yeah.
Like just learning all these little tidbits about people.
Yeah.
It's really, really cool. So what did you take at uni?
I took a Bachelor of Community Development with a minor in marketing through the School of Business.
Cool. Okay.
Yes, I did. And I graduated in 2016. Yeah.
And Grace, your
history
nerd.
I do history.
She's doing her food.
I did my BA in history. I did my MA in Atlantic Canadian Studies.
Super different.
Super different. And now I'm doing my PhD in history.
So really what I'm saying, you guys, is you got to listen to Minute Women because this girl knows her shit.
She does.
I know my stuff.
She really does.
You both know your
I look
shit.
at Wikipedia and I'm like, this sounds accurate.
I would love to. Yeah, let's talk about Minute Women.
Sure.
Okay.
Before I forget to even talk about it, because I don't want to get
the bell so bad.
How did this? Well, actually, you know what? We're not going to talk about Minute Women yet. We're going to talk about how you guys met.
Okay.
The origin of the friendship, because the friendship came first, right?
Yeah.
The
Okay.
friendship came first.
Okay.
Very first, but very close together.
Oh, was it?
Very
So close.
quick succession.
What?
Of
So
events, yes.
I'm gonna start the story. I'm gonna start the story. at the beginning. Okay, so I met this human while I was waitressing.
Me human or other human?
Okay, I'll start with you.
Okay, well, I just was going to say that we met at curling.
We met at curling.
So we'd been curling together for like a year.
Yeah, but I didn't really know
we weren't
her.
friends,
Like the
really.
first time we curled together, she like mocked the sweatshirt I was wearing, which she doesn't remember because she's Grace.
No, I remember, and it makes me cringe every time because you agreed with me.
I did.
You insulted the sweater first, and so I just followed up. But now it means I'm a bitch in the record.
Okay, so I allowed my insecurities to shine through, and as the emotional Cancer I am, and the Pisces and Grace just agreed with me. But anyway, so we've been curling together. You're not a Pisces.
I'm an Aries.
You're an Aries.
Close though. They're close together.
They're so close.
I'm not saying I didn't feel it, mind you.
I didn't feel it.
It's not that it wasn't an honest opinion. I just wouldn't have said it if the door wasn't open to say it.
Anyway,
Moving on.
so we met at curling. We've been curling together for about a year, sweeping our little hearts out together. I thought she was cool.
Yeah.
She only curled one night a week, and I had jumped right in the first year curling 2 nights a week. So I had like met a bunch of people at the club, whereas Grace had like kind of only met that night. So I didn't see her a lot at the club. But a year passes. And I'm waitressing at Auction House, which has changed so drastically.
Yeah. It's a very different bar now.
Anyway, so I was waitressing at Auction House, and I met a guy there also serving. And one night we were shooting shit at the bar, having beers, and he was like, "Oh, I do podcasts," and I was like, "Okay, sure." And then, anyway, he was talking about podcast ideas that he had, and he was like, "A comedy history podcast would be really cool." And I, being the people-pleasing person that I am, was like, oh my gosh, I know this girl who, like, the only thing I've really ever talked to her about is, like, history. And she's really funny, and she might be into that. And so I, like, proposed this to Grace so casually at the next curling event. And in that moment, Grace was like...
I was like, I could start a podcast. Yeah. I could be the hero of the team.
So
I love podcasts, and
Yeah.
I loved history podcasts especially.
Yeah.
And not that I had like a clear vision of what I wanted to do, but I was just like, this could be like my opportunity. This is like my chance.
Yes. So the next week, Grace is like, I have a full proposal written up for you. And I was like...
Because
you did.
I'm an overachiever, but also I didn't know, like, I didn't know who this person was. I didn't know, like,
And you probably didn't know the process.
Was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, process.
And I was like,
So I
oh.
did the process I knew, which was like
I was
school.
like, oh, cool. And then I was like, shit. And I like went home and I messaged this guy and I was like, so like this girl like actually has like a proposal, It came to be that Grace was like, it'll be more interesting and I only really want to do it if you're going to do it with me.
Because I also didn't know this person. Like,
Yeah.
It's like, who's this person that she's
But
talking
you hardly
about?
knew her.
Yeah.
But I knew her more.
You knew her more.
And she was the connection, the bridge.
Yeah. So.
And we had like chatted and
Yeah.
like, had a fun time.
Yeah.
Did you think that there was enough? This is my thing, though. That's wild to me. That's like moving in with a roommate that you'd never known before.
So,
like,
just wait.
Remember us.
Just wait.
I remember clearly one night we were at the bar and we were just, I think we had more drinks than we normally had at the curling club. And we had kind of like gotten along pretty well. And I remember us turning it like, we're funny.
Yeah.
We're funny.
We're funny.
So there had been like an event, maybe.
So
We had never seen each other outside the curling club. I think
Right.
that's
what it
the
took.
like, framework.
That's what it took.
So we come to, it's almost the 2-year anniversary of our real friendship because
Cut to November.
Cut to November.
2019.
It's chilly. It's pre-COVID. Times are good. Okay.
Yeah.
2018.
No, 2019.
2019. It was 2019. You're right. So yeah, pre-COVID. COVID is but a whisper on the other side of the world.
We
Okay.
made a few jokes about coronas and Lyme disease.
Yeah.
I think
I don't
the
know
first
if you
time I
remember
heard about
that.
the coronavirus was hearing that Tom Hanks had it.
Yeah. So we're at like that phase. And I think this was even like pre-Tom Hanks. Okay. So there's this huge curling tournament at the club.
Milestone in that the pandemic that it was.
This is a national tournament with teams from all over the world.
International.
Thank you. Huge.
Big
This is a really
purse.
big deal. Big deal. $25,000 purse, I think.
think it was 35.
Might have been.
Doesn't matter. The
Doesn't
point
matter.
is that like curling is such a small niche sport that like the Halifax Curling Club, where we're members, hosts like a massive tournament every year.
So there were all of these teams there, and I had been running the bar all weekend because, again, it's my first year living in Halifax. It's my first year at the curling club. I'm a people pleaser. They're like, we need people to run the bar. I'm just realizing what a people pleaser I am.
I'm really glad I
it.
came up with that assumption. Good job,
and
Sarah.
And I'm like, okay, I'll do the bar. So I'm doing this bar all weekend. And there is a very young, very attractive, I'm in a relationship at the time, but there was a very young, very attractive Scottish curling team. And we were
How
like,
young?
Our
Like
age.
our age.
And
Okay.
so we were like getting along
Which
really
is
well.
very young.
Very young. This was 2 years ago. We were young. Yeah. And so we're just like getting along, and I'm giving them crafty radlers, and the president of the curling club is wasted. And as the night is everyone's wasted except for me. So the setting, dim lights, very warm in the top of the curling club. Everyone is wasted.
In a script, like the italicized set dressing at the top is dim lights, 1970s decor. Everyone's wasted.
Okay. So it's the end of the tournament. They're flying out the next morning. The Scottish curling team is there, and they're good. These men are probably going to the Olympics, like this coming Olympics this year. Yeah, so they're very good. They're
We won't say
talented.
their names, but we'll basically say.
But we'll
who they are
basically tell you
throughout.
who they are.
Wrote all the hints.
But
Look up young curling
Anyway.
team, and you'll probably find
you
them.
probably will. Anyway, the president of the club, who is now a friend of mine, wasn't before this night, but is now just like Grace. He is pretty intoxicated and comes over to me and he says, Linnea, he says, do whatever you gotta do to make sure these boys come back to the club. Hand of God, this is what he said to me. And so I was like, okay. And he's like, here's the keys, lock up. And I was like, okay. So he leaves. At this point, were you there for me drinking out of a boot?
Yes.
Okay, so at this point,
He's like, I need backup.
at this point, I'm like, I didn't know if that happened before or after. I didn't know if that was what made me realize I needed backup. So I was like, this was the point that one of the Nova Scotian teams and the Scottish team were like, we're fully dressed in our regular people clothes. Let's go outside let's go into that sheet of ice.
Yeah, which is a big no-no.
Which is a big no-no.
Because
With
you
our
bring up some
regular
dirt on the
people
ice.
clothes on and like throw some rocks around. And I was like, oh God, I need help. I was like, who can I call? Like, who is going to be awake at like, it was 9:30 actually. Everyone was awake.
On a Sunday.
On a Sunday.
On a
Who's going to be
Sunday.
awake at 9:30 on a Sunday and come and help me out? I was like, Grace, we've been getting along.
Yeah. I
So-
was driving back from Cape Breton at this time.
Yeah, so I call her and I'm like,
I'm in
hey,
the car. I'm in the car.
I really need you to come to the Halifax Curling Club and I need you to help me out. Like, it's going to be a wild night. And
Okay.
so when Grace arrives at the club, flash forward to Grace arriving at the club, I'm walking down the curling club stairs holding 2 pitchers of beer.
Mind you, the front door is locked.
Locked.
So I'm like,
So I have to like waddle down. I'm already laughing hysterically at this point. I waddle down and I have to open the door and then I'm like, we're just going curling on the ice in our regular clothes. Everything's fine.
This is what she said to me. She said, she has 2 pitchers of Crafty Radler. She unlocks the door for me, lets me in, and she's like, okay, there's these Scottish curlers here. They're on the ice. Join us. No, first, go upstairs and pour yourself a pint. There's no tab at this point.
No, there's
People
no
are,
tab.
Like anarchy at the bar.
anarchy.
I've also never actually gotten to use those thingies before because I've never worked like a bar. So it was very fun for me.
So
I was like, this is already worth it.
eventually we're all out on the ice. Drinks are flowing. Alcohol is flowing. And this is about, Grace was talking about my athletic ability. So I
Her
enjoy
favorite trick.
to piggyback people.
No,
Wait,
it's more than that.
jump up. Top or bottom piggyback?
Bottom.
Oh, shit.
I'm the base. It's more than that.
And then what do you do when they're on your back?
Then I run with them.
No.
Oh, I squat
Squats.
them. I squat them.
Oh, shit.
So she's like encouraging these full-grown men to be like, hop on my back on the ice in just boots.
Stop.
And then she's like, don't worry, get on my back and then I'll squat you. I've had a drink, and everyone else here is like at least a pitcher deep themselves. So I was just like, no, that's bad.
Grace doesn't really know me. I don't really know Grace.
So was just like, what is happening? I think, eventually we coaxed everyone off the ice.
Yeah.
And we went upstairs.
And we went back upstairs. And then
Which is
we
where the bar
continued
is.
drinking. And then we started free pouring shots. So we did
one of the Scottish players was like, I'm going to play bartender for a night.
Yeah.
And then we got to drink the way Scottish people drink. And it's different.
It's so different.
It's so different.
What's different about it?
Quantity.
It's constant.
Is it just a lot at once?
Well, it's the concept of like, okay, your glass is empty. I'm going to fill it up for you. The same applies to shots.
Yeah.
So like, oh, your shot glass is empty.
Here you go. And now you have to drink it.
And now you have to drink it while I bully you.
We drank, I think, like, it. Now, mind you, it was like bowls and sourpuss, and we were just doing like shots, but it was like
just
3
sugar.
bottles of
was like
sugar
sugar.
alcohol. And then we were talking
Hi,
about
Mom. Hi, Dad.
Yeah. we were talking about rugby. And I was like, "Oh, I played rugby." And I was like, like when you win, you like drink out of the cleat. Like if you get a try in a game or like if you do something good, you like drink out of a cleat. And then was like, you
Name
can
dropping.
drink out of a boot. Oh shit.
It's
Said
fine.
that.
We can bleep it.
Yeah,
Bleep it,
was
Sarah.
like, yeah, you can drink out of a boot. So then I removed my boot and a crafty radler was poured into my boot. We're never invited back to the curling club. Actually, that's not true because that comes in my story as well. Anyway, crafty radler poured into the boot.
Also, like a full boot too. Like it was
my
just like
God.
and
My
you were like,
Blundstone
no,
right
stop,
out there.
Stop.
Yeah.
It's just like the foam.
Yeah. Anyway, drank that. And then the ice maker at the curling club came back to the club
It's like
and he said, "Go, Linnea, just go."
Yeah.
And
he was just like, you guys should just leave. Like, not in a mean way, but he was just kind of like, he's like, it's going to be bad if you guys stay any longer.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
so decide to leave the curling club. We decide to make our way to the curling club. This part of the story I will let you tell because you tell the story about the dog really well.
Oh, yeah. So we're like walking so we've decided it's a Sunday night. Where's the only place you can go on a Sunday night?
Downtown Halifax, pre-COVID. Remember, times were good.
She knows.
Do I?
Yeah.
Niche?
No.
No. Why did I say that? I don't
It's
actually
a deck
know.
that happens to be lower than other decks.
Lower deck.
Deck.
Signal Hill.
Yeah.
Yes.
There we go.
That's where you go on a Sunday night.
Niche.
And
What the fuck am I talking about?
So we're walking back. We're going to Linnea's apartment because we're gonna like change and like go out to this
Oh,
bar.
yeah.
Because at this time we're like in curling.
What time is it now?
I'd say it's about 10 p.m.
Yeah.
Like it's not late.
Okay.
Not late.
10, no, I guess it would have been closer to 11 maybe.
Maybe, yeah.
First, we have to stop at their hotel because one of them is like, I need to put on the skinniest pants imaginable and these like Nikes that I have that are in like a box.
I think they
basically.
were Yeezys.
Oh, Yeezys. Sorry,
Yeah.
he's so offended. Yeezys. He has to put on his Yeezys. And I'm like, all right, cool. We're going to lower deck. While we're walking to the hotel, though, there's this this woman walking her Burmese mountain dog at like 11 p.m. And one of the players just fully stops walking with the group to like pet this
Crosses
dog.
the street, I believe.
Crosses the dog, crosses the street to see this dog, which is so scary, I'm sure, for this woman. And so he's just like fully like sitting on the sidewalk petting this dog, and she's
Like,
just
on his bum.
clearly wants to go. So I was like, okay, let's go. So I just like picked up all his equipment because I was like, there's probably his wallet in here. Probably gonna have to follow us at some
Probably
point.
gonna need that.
Eventually he comes and picks it up. He's like, oh, I thought you like stole my equipment. I was like, yeah.
Except in a Scottish accent.
in a Scottish accent. I can't really do accents.
My
Me
equipment.
neither.
I don't know.
I can't.
Yeah.
I can't do.
I got nothing.
Equipment. Anyways, he's like, yeah, my family always had Burmese mountain dogs, and my Burmese mountain dog just died. I'm pretty sure as the story went, like he's like, we had this Burmese mountain dog, and then that one died, and then we got a new Burmese mountain dog, and it died. They have short lifespans, and then we got another Burmese.
But one just died.
But one had just died.
my
So I was
God.
like, oh my God, that's like so sad. I was drunk and single at the time, so you know. And
Yeah.
then we like go up to their hotel room, they change, we go to Linnea's place, and then we change, you and I change.
And I was like, well, so I was really drunk. And the way I know that I'm going to be friends, the way that someone should know that they're my friend is if I offer them an item of my clothing. And Grace didn't know this, but I was like, you need to wear this shirt. And Grace
And
was
your
like,
bra.
why?
Is it a test or is it more of?
It's more of like, I trust you, I love you, I want to bring you
Okay.
into my home. I'm nesting with you.
Friendship nesting.
Yeah. So I was like, cool, thanks. At the time, she gave it to me, and I'm like, I'm way bigger than this person. Like, this shirt is not going to fit. But it fit
looked
pretty well.
good.
It was kind of like the
So
traveling
today,
pants situation.
exactly. Today when I was deciding what to wear, I was like, I'll wear this shirt because it'll like tie back to the story of the fateful night that we became friends.
Yeah.
So anyway, we leave there.
Do we want to say the drug part? I don't know. Will your mom like it or not?
It's fine, let's say it. Let's say it.
Okay. Mom.
So we got these Scottish boys high, and they'd never been actually high
Well, this
before.
was the thing, right? Like, they were fairly coordinated, despite the fact that they had been drinking since sunrise.
They're big. They're solid.
And they're just clearly used to drinking a lot all the time, right? And we were like drunk.
Yeah.
Mind you, we had some drugs, and it's fine.
It's legal now.
We had some weed, and it was just
It
like,
was legal then.
totally
It was legal
fine.
then. Oh shit.
Yeah.
It was totally fine. And then, but they were like high off their ass. And I
'Cause
was
they
like,
were,
oh,
like,
these people have never had like
Actual weed before.
They get like that weird stuff that gets over to Britain.
Yeah.
They're not above the Mexican border.
So like they were stoned.
So now we're like
Trying to walk to
we
the
done
lower
something
deck.
super irresponsible?
So then we're like trying to walk to the lower deck, which probably took us an hour because they were so stoned. Like I was having a
We got
life chat
split up
with
somehow.
one. Grace was having like a life chat with the other.
Yeah, we like went separate ways. Somehow we converged on the same location. though.
Yeah.
Are there drug testing and curling?
I hope not. They went to BC right after.
So I
okay.
mean, like
It's chill
They were
there.
fine. So anyway, we get to the lower
think
deck.
so.
We get to the lower deck, and this is when things get crazy.
Holy shit.
Because-
this story is madness.
Because
Keep
these
going.
boys, we get inside the lower deck. It's kind of dead, to be honest. It's
So by
not
the
very
time we
crazy.
got there, like the lower deck section was closed, so we had
Yeah.
to go to like the upstairs,
the middle deck.
deck.
And so we get there, and they're like, "All right, we have a company. We have a team card." And
Yeah.
they pull out the team card, and they're
It's
like,
this black debit,
and they're
blue
like,
card.
drinks on us, and we start drinking double gin and
God.
tonics.
yes, that they serve in like a tankard glass.
Like a thunder mug,
So you're
but
like,
mini.
Oh
So you're
my
like,
God.
So we're
then your
drinking,
G&T.
and then so we're talking to these guys, and they're like talking about like their plans for the Olympics and whatever. And out of the corner of my eye, I see. Actually, you saw
I suck. So I went up to the bar to get my second double gin tonic
on the team
their
card.
tab. And I came back and I like made eye contact with this guy, and I was just like, how do I know you? Like you're making eye contact, and you waved and smiled at me, so I'm like, I must know you somehow. And then I was like, oh shit, that's Scott Moyer, the figure skater.
Oh my God.
And I was like, Scott Moore, the figure skater.
And I like came back and I was like, oh my gosh, that like table over there, there's like Scott Moyer,
Patrick Chan,
Patrick Chan,
and so
Tessa Virtue,
so I say,
and other people.
so I say to these future Olympians, world champion, national, whatever
I'm
have
pretty sure
you.
you just bolted. I think that might have come after.
Oh, it might have come after. So anyway, I bolted and I went and I was like, "Hi, you're Scott Moore, and that's really great. But where's Tessa Virtue?"
And
wait,
like, where is
and I was like, "Grace,
Who
you
was
have
her
to come with me
partner?
because I need a picture."
Tessa and-
Scott Moore.
Was it Scott and Tessa?
Yes.
They were like
the sexiest,
mega famous.
like
Yes.
figure skating routine.
So
of all time.
they're the thing, and
Shit.
we both come from families that love the Olympics, so we'd obviously like seen them. And it was Stars on Ice in Halifax the same night, and so they were
Yes.
there afterwards. Anyway, so I'm like gone, and I'm like gallivanting, and Grace is taking pictures of me, and I'm losing my mind because like
Patrick Chan is also
We're gonna
your
need to see
childhood
Patrick
crush.
Chan is my childhood crush, and
my
I was in
gosh.
love with him. I had his water bottle,
You told him.
which I told him, his water bottle from McDonald's. Anyway, long story like, so I come back from my adventure, getting pictures and fangirling and like hugging Tessa Virtue and whatever, and I come back and I'm like, those are famous athletes.
Yeah, they were literally like, well, who are they? And you were
Yeah.
like, oh, they're famous athletes. And then they were like, well, I thought you said that we were
Famous athletes.
And then you went,
No.
no, they're actual famous athletes.
Uh,
Anyway, anyways, after that, like, we just got a cab and went home, and I was like solidly hungover for 2 days.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Truly.
And that was so then we had to curl the next night. We had to curl Monday night because that was our night that we curled together, and we got to the curling club and we're in this like giddy, like hungover state of being like, only you know how I feel right now.
Aww.
And then I've just like loved her and been fangirling over her ever since. And yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my god!
And then she like agreed to do that podcast, and then we did.
Yeah, and then we
So the
did
podcast was talks of the podcast. Did that happen before this night?
Podcast
Yes.
was like
Or-
the idea had been formed. Then we had this night, and then we actually like did
Yeah.
it after.
Got you. So it was the bonding moment.
It was definitely the like
Yeah.
friendship
So-
forged in the fires of like one crazy night.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's kind of our white whale story because we don't really have evidence of it
Yeah.
other than, which I found, a screenshot of your photo with Scott Moyer and Patrick Chan.
Oh yeah, I have those pictures.
Yeah.
They exist. And I also have a very short video of me and Scott Zachary on the ice. Oh damn, just drop it.
Scott Zachary is a Nova Scotian.
Scott Zachary's
he
Nova
was-
Scotian.
He is not.
He owns
He didn't do anything wrong.
No, he owns New Scotland Brewing, actually. He owns New Scotland Brewing. Check it out. They're great.
Yeah.
Go support local.
He's like a
Yeah.
Briar curler. Like, he's an amazing curler.
He didn't do anything
so he
wrong
was
or
just
bad.
there for part of it.
He was
didn't-
there.
He didn't go to the lower deck.
But I have a funny video with him, but you can see the others in the background. And that's like it. That's like
That
the only
is-
proof that I have.
insane.
Yeah.
That's a wild story. Holy shit.
How long did that take? That must
So
have been like a
long.
10-minute
I don't
story.
know,
15?
but it was worth every minute.
That took like
Minute women.
20.
Ooh.
3 hours.
That's
No,
fine.
know, it was
you know
worth it.
what?
It's so
That
much
was
fun,
a
though.
wild ride, and no, I loved every minute. That was
Yes.
insane. That was holy shit. Number one, like I could just feel the alcohol poisoning as you guys were like we were talking about like the sourpuss and stuff. I was just like, oh my god.
And that's the problem.
remember
it was
that.
like the sugariest.
Yeah.
Mind you, we didn't pay for a single drink that whole night.
here's
It's
here's
the
a
drunkest I've ever been.
here's a crazy thought to think about.
Yeah.
So you met people who you really admire and like had a crush on. You met celebrities.
I thought you meant the curlers, and I was like, no. But you mean the figure
You met
skaters.
Scott and Tessa.
Yes.
You had pictures with them hugging.
Yeah.
We're never gonna be able to hug celebrities again.
You think? I don't know.
I don't know,
That's a
man.
bummer.
I think
Yeah, no,
COVID
it's happened
times.
before.
COVID times, I feel like you couldn't do something like that.
I think
It'll be a while before we can do something like that again.
I feel like
See,
it'll be a
but
while
my
before
thing
they
is, like-
attend the lower deck again.
my thing is that like these times are not as unprecedented as everybody thinks they are.
Ooh, hot
These things have very much happened a lot before.
Yeah.
Talk to
And
the
we-
history
We
majors.
have managed them very well here
Yeah.
in Nova Scotia. We've done like a very effective job of managing them, and I don't think it's as short as everyone had hoped.
That's right.
But it's not forever.
It's not gonna be
It's
forever.
definitely not forever.
I feel like I look hysterical on the camera every time I take a drink because I classic like person who podcasts. I take it and
Set it down really neatly.
must super carefully sit it down without making any noise.
Make sure the brand is out.
Laugh away.
Out.
Laugh away from the camera or the mic.
Yeah.
That's so okay. Whew, my God. Okay, so friendship and podcast kind of happened around the same
Yeah,
time.
it's
Yeah.
a very joint thing.
I didn't
So
realize your friendship was so new.
Well,
a lot of people say
it's
that.
definitely a comment we've gotten that it's shocking to believe that we haven't been friends for years. And
it
even
looks
people,
like-
but
yeah.
even people at the curling club,
They're like, oh, how do you guys know
Find
each
it
other?
very-
And we're like, from here.
yeah, and they're like, oh no, but like before that, and we're like, no,
No.
like they find it very hard to believe that we haven't known each other for a long time.
Yeah.
And so is my mom. My mom is so cute. My mom's like, I don't remember when you weren't friends with Grace. And I'm like,
Aww.
that's cute.
I love
it.
this.
Yeah, I think, and I mean, obviously, it's like amazing having a friend like that, but it's also, I think part of that has come from the fact that we had to build something together. Like at the very beginning of our friendship, we were also working on something together, like working and building this podcast. So
Yeah.
it's kind of hard to imagine our friendship without the podcast.
Yep.
in some ways.
Yeah.
So
I
when you
can see
listen to
that.
Minute Women, you're also listening to like a chronicle of our friendship.
Yeah.
in some ways.
Yeah. It's like
No.
our friendship on a mic.
Like our first episodes were recorded like 2 months after that event.
Yeah, and we still, I think in every episode there are stories that we haven't shared with each other yet, or things that we don't know, or opinions that we haven't heard, like from the person, which is kind of cool.
Which keeps it fresh.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And Minute Women, tell everyone what Minute Women is. What's it about? What can people expect from it? What is Minute Women?
So Minute Women is a comedy history podcast where we take a Canadian Heritage Minute every episode, those like iconic 60-second commercials that would air. They're full of like corny 90s nostalgia.
Doctor, I smell burnt toast.
Johnson, Sir Molly Johnson.
Yeah.
And we
Acknowledge. Take that away.
we do the bigger history. Like the idea is that you can't tell the whole story of this person or this event or this thing in 60 seconds. So like, what do they leave out of the Heritage Minute? And that's what we do.
And I want to also add that this podcast basically premiered in the midst of a global pandemic.
Yes.
And more than half of our episodes at this point were recorded separately from each other. And so the podcast, our friendship not only kept the podcast running, but the podcast kept our friendship running because
it was an excuse to hang out with.
Yeah. And
virtually.
Virtually, because I moved home to Lunenburg, and so Grace and I we didn't see each other for months. And we recorded this podcast and did this and worked on this passion project. And yeah, I mean, aside from a global pandemic, this year has been full of big changes for both of us. And yeah, I honestly don't know if I could have gotten through the year without Grace and without the podcast, because it's given us she's so great. She's so great.
God.
It was nice. It was like kind of in quarantine, like my whole world revolved around this podcast, because it was like, and I always say, like, I'm really proud that we didn't take that as an opportunity to say we're gonna try again. Like we launched late.
It sounded like you were gasping.
Yeah. Everybody okay?
we launched the show in late February. So that's literally 2 weeks before everything closed down.
Can I just say that blows my mind? Because I didn't, looking back, it makes sense that you would have launched then. I shit you not, thought Minute Women started a year before that.
No.
I don't know why, and I think it might have been because it was on my radar because of my connection with who you were working with at the time, maybe.
Yeah.
Like, I think it was on my radar. And then I remember seeing you doing things, but for some reason, when I think of, when I discovered you guys, I don't think pandemic, and it's just this weird thing.
Oh, yeah, and what I
totally did not realize that you started just on, the heels of it.
And what I felt...
I think we did the first 7 together in a studio.
Yeah.
And then
that's okay.
The rest were via distance until that summer. So we weren't in the same room for about 4 months.
And to be fair, we were released the first 3 at once. So it was only 4 episodes that came out that after the initial launch. That we had recorded together. And I will also add, which I didn't add to our origin story, is that Grace now does everything for the podcast. Grace writes the episodes, she presents the episodes, she records and edits the episodes. She's amazing.
Wow. You're the captain.
I guess. I always say it's just that's my job, and Linnea has her job.
Yeah.
And that's being the co-host, and the podcast would suck if it was just me.
Exactly.
It absolutely needs to have Linnea.
You need the chemistry, the banter.
Because that's what's good about
That's
it,
what makes it magical.
Yeah.
You can go online and find most of the information that I have, right?
That's right.
I'm not, spoilers, sorry to everyone, I'm not digging through ancient tombs to find the information that I put in these podcasts, because this is a passion project and it's a hobby. It's not my job.
Right.
So, I'm not pouring my whole life into the research of this show. Yeah. So that's not, and I know that's not why people come to listen to the show. The reason they come to listen to the show is because of our friendship and our chemistry and our comedy.
Yeah.
So
that's exactly it.
Yeah.
Give your, wow. Yeah. You guys should be very proud of yourselves for what you've done. It's very, very impressive.
Thanks.
And it's, what is it like working together as friends. I need to know that part of it. Because like you said, your friendship kind of did start around this thing. So I think that kind of makes it better, maybe in a way.
I think it's
But
definitely gotten easier.
What's that like?
It's gotten easier.
Yeah.
I think because we've come to know what to expect from one another.
I
maybe?
think
Is
that's
the best way to put it.
That's so much of what it is.
Yeah.
Is just
It's
learning
having the
what to
right-
expect.
I mean, we talked about this on the episode we had with you, but it's just like,
Yeah.
or no, I guess we talked about it on a recent episode. Sorry.
Okay.
But it's like the idea that like expectations are
Oh, yeah.
premeditated resentments.
Mhm.
Like,
Yes.
if you just like are expecting,
Dang.
Grace hates the bell.
do I hate it or do I love it?
You'll never know.
I think it's just it's like this. I don't expect Linnea to like do all this research and prep insanely hard for an episode because that's not her job. That's not her role. So like I'm not going to be upset with her for not doing that.
And
Exactly.
I don't expect to go into an episode and ask a question and Grace, maybe she doesn't know the answer. Maybe she doesn't know when the guy's mother was born or if like what happened to his like little sister. And that's okay. And but
That would make it
what happened to the
interesting.
little
But being able to ask those questions and have Grace be like, I don't know, and us be comfortable with that now, and
That's
then like joke
right.
about it or talk about it or make up
Yeah.
a crazy story for how that happened.
Yeah.
It is the more I've gotten to know Grace, the more easy it is for both of us to, in general, like communicate with each other and talk to each other and feed off each other on the show. Like we know each other well enough to be able to feed into a story that the other might have. Like
Yeah.
we can kind of
love
do that
that.
seamlessly without thinking about it anymore.
Right.
Yeah. Or like I know I'm not gonna say something and she's gonna be like offended by
Oh,
this
yeah.
joke I'm about to make or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's I will say like I think for me it is hard to ask other people to do something, which I feel like you can relate to a
Yes,
lot.
I can. Yeah, we're
We've
similar
had
in
many
that way.
conversations about this at our desks.
But it's just-
like,
but it
it's
is
really
interesting.
hard for me to like ask for help. And so like I'm getting better at being like or even just
Can you
just-
do this?
just asserting like can we do today instead of is it okay if we do the day? I'm sorry, like
And as a not type A person, I love that. Like
Because she keeps you structured.
yeah, like I just want to be like, when are we doing this? Like, yes. And like Grace is like, yeah, we're gonna do it this day and we're gonna do this and we're gonna record there. And I'm like,
I
super
love
awesome,
that.
thank you.
Like
awesome.
at this point, probably operating like a well-oiled machine. You know your roles, you know the flow
Yeah.
of things.
getting
That's the
there.
joy of a
getting
podcast
there.
where you
Yeah.
don't have guests every week and
Yes.
you can
Yeah.
run it. The two of you, like I often say, like I love doing Intoxicated, but my total dream is to just have a co-host and podcast like without the desperate need for guests every single week.
guest finding
It's stressful.
must be so hard.
I
Guest
can't
finding must be
imagine.
hard and like especially when the podcast is kind of about you in some way. Like we get the benefit of going in that room and being like no matter what happened over the past week, I don't have to talk about it.
Yeah.
Because it's just
Right.
about like
Yeah.
we're talking about Sir Johnny.
You have
McDonald
a
today.
topic.
Right.
You have a
But if we
theme.
want to,
There's
we
a
also
opportunity.
can. Like we've opened up that like option.
I love that. But I like
Yeah.
that about what you've been doing lately, which is like kind of talking
Yeah.
about other things.
It's a little more free
Because
now.
really what that's doing is it's getting people to just like you guys more. And you're
Yeah.
getting to know you guys and they'll
And-
tune in for you.
Yeah, I firmly believe that I couldn't be a part of this project with anyone else because as I've said, like it's been a year for everyone, but like I went through breakups and like family crisis and like health issues and like all of this shit. And I think moving a bunch, new jobs,
Wow.
different jobs, different
shit.
places, having to make like really adult decisions and not just having fun all the time. And I don't think that it would have worked with anyone other than Grace because Grace is, and I know it's corny, but like Grace, you're just like you're so full of grace, and you just make everything easier. And you, and you do. You make things
I bumped the
better
mic,
by
sorry.
just being like. She doesn't cry over things like this. It's fine.
It's not like it's not a bad thing. I just
No.
like I genuinely I'm so bad at taking compliments.
Is
Yeah,
this
she
balance? Do you balance each other out?
I don't feel like I do. Like I feel like
Well, no, you must. What does Linnea bring to your
I
life?
am the leech of a friend.
What is this chaotic cancer?
I'm sleeping on her couch tonight.
But it's great. I love it. No, it's like so here's the thing. Like I think in our relationship, and maybe you'll agree, I don't know. I feel like I am the steady ship
Yes.
Like, it's just the steady ship. The ship is gonna, like, maybe more like a train. The
Okay.
train is gonna leave.
Shit.
The train's gonna leave on a certain time. And I pride myself on being the train that leaves at the same time every day.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to be that for everybody in my life. Like, I want to be the train that leaves at the same time every day, right?
Why am I wanting to cry? That's beautiful.
But, like, the train that leaves on the same time every day can get boring if there isn't, like, fun drinks on the train.
I'm
Or
the fun drink.
Sometimes there's crazy shit happening out the window, and you want to point and
I'm
like,
the crazy
look
shit.
at the crazy shit happening out the window. Like, Linnea always has something going on, and sometimes I'm like, Linnea, why'd you get yourself in this situation? But it's like exciting to view.
It's
For sure. And also, I will say, like, when we first met, I was kind of in Linnea's shoes where I had just gone through, like, a really shitty year. I had just been through a really miserable breakup. And so
okay.
I, like, needed something that wasn't school to be like, I need something, like, fun and energetic that's going to, like, make me
Right.
feel good about myself and, like, the situation I'm in right now.
Yeah.
So,
Holy shit.
like, I need that. I love that. And I want that all the time. And, like, Linnea is the best person to do that for me. Linnea's like my person.
God. Holy shit. Can you guys adopt me?
Do you want to be our friend?
Yes, please.
It's Minute Women. It's not like there's no cap.
There's no cap on Minute Women.
Yeah.
That is just like so wonderful. Wow. What a
Yeah.
what a
And it's
beautiful
like-
friendship.
It's a great friendship, and like I'm not gonna say like we've never fought or like
I was gonna ask about
we've
that.
never
Have there
had
been
arguments.
what's been the worst friend?
I
Let's say friendship. I guess would friendship fight be the same as a podcast fight, or are they different?
No, they're different.
I think they're different. But I would say that regardless of anything we've ever fought about, there's never been a time during the fight that I felt like we couldn't like get through it or like this was the end.
Yeah.
Right.
Like,
you guys, do you talk about it?
Yeah.
As soon as
Yep.
something happens. Good.
Oh,
Good.
I am
Good.
exceptionally confrontational, which
not.
makes Grace uncomfortable. So I'm like, there's a problem. This is bothering me. Like, this is it. And then Grace is like, and then we talk about it. And then it's
Yeah.
fine.
I'll just be like, okay. I was like, either I cry or I'm gonna like have to like. I need to always take things and like sit with them for a while.
Process. You need
Yeah.
processing
I need to process
time.
things because it's like it's not that they're not valid.
I
It's
don't
just like I'm not gonna give you a good reflection of
Yeah.
my actual thoughts and feelings in this moment because I'm just being like upset.
Is it a secret that you're like an avid journaler?
Oh shit!
think
I
it's
didn't.
a
I didn't know
secret.
that.
Secret?
Though actually, I have fallen off the wagon.
Have you?
I have,
Because
unfortunately.
You're happy
I
and
wanna
in
get back
love.
on it.
You're happy and in love. This is what happens.
Yeah, when you get in a relationship, you have less to journal about.
God, that's just like a whole other podcast.
Can I
But
open this? Is
yes,
ooh,
we like the sound effects on the show.
yes, but to be like I think often about the things that are written about me in the journal, but then I know that we've gotten through them and come past them.
Oh, I see. So do you journal
reflections.
about?
Have
Did
you
you
read
just
my
talk about your day?
No.
Okay, that's good.
Do you just talk about your day, or like
I
what?
get scared. I'm like, have people read them? I just leave them
I
out.
said
There's
I
no
get
lock on
worried
them.
about the things that I think are in them.
Oh,
Now
okay.
I'm worried.
No, it's nothing bad. I like,
Yeah.
because even in my journals, I'm kind of like emotionally distant.
It's a way to process your thoughts. It's a way to process your thoughts.
Yeah, it's just a
Yeah.
way to get things down. But I think like, I don't know what I think.
What? How do you journal though? Do you talk about your day? What do you write? Do you do gratitude? What?
It sort of started. When did I start journaling? I think I started journaling in my last year of my BA. And because I wanted something, like I wanted some kind of like token of like of this time. And so, but I didn't believe in my ability to like keep with it.
Yeah.
So I started in a format that was like really, really short, and it was very like no expectation that I had to do it every day. So it would just be like, today I did this, this, and this. And that would be it. Like there was not a lot of like,
I know that your most
Emotional
recent ones are
chronicling.
beautiful though, because you've done like art in them and stuff. Like because you've
Yeah.
showed me like title pages for things.
yeah, I try to like make them pretty and stuff.
Yeah.
But
She's also a phenomenal artist.
no, not phenomenal.
What are you bad at?
It feels too emotional to say.
Oh shit! Okay, Minute Women are coming back for a part two.
Part two. No,
I was just gonna
not
say
too
she's not bad at
emotional.
anything. She's perfect.
No, I'm not perfect. I think that like sometimes, especially with like family and like close friends, I can be a little like shut downy.
Oh,
Like
okay.
it's like fuck off. I don't want to. Like I don't want to right now.
Okay.
I don't like I at the same time that like I think that's why I pride myself on being there for people, because I know for me that takes a lot.
Right. So when you do it really means something.
Yeah. I think like it.
That's fair.
Yeah. So
Friendships are hard.
they are.
They're
like,
truly not like that's something that's a flaw of mine too.
yeah.
I
It
don't
kind
do
of
it well.
comes to a point. I don't know if you guys have felt the same way, where it's like eventually as an adult, when I form some friends, like I'm like, this is such a great friendship. I hope I don't get to know you too much more. Because then I don't owe you anything. We just like meet up once a week and we have beers and we chill and we laugh and that's it. Like you don't ask anything else of me.
And I don't know if our podcast partially saves that from us, but I don't know. Like, man, like, I don't know. It sounds like stupid and shit, but I think what we have is special.
yeah.
You're my buddy. And I really, like, yeah, like
It's a crazy thing to do, and it's a grind, and it takes dedication, it takes showing up, and it takes energy to like show up for each other to do a podcast together. Like it's truly bonding. I can only imagine.
Yeah.
Like it's
for
holy
sure.
shit.
For sure.
And it's weekly, right? You do this
yeah,
weekly.
it's a weekly show.
Yeah.
Weekly podcast.
I've taken a few intermittent breaks, but other than that, it's always been
Breaks are
weekly.
important. Take breaks.
Take breaks.
If you're gonna do some sort of project that requires a grind or a routine, take a break.
Especially
every now
emotional
and then.
energy. Like, take breaks.
Yeah.
Are you guys good at sensing when the other needs some time out?
Yeah, because Linnea gets mean. She'll get mean to like strangers, and I'm like, she's kidding.
So Grace
a joke.
Grace has literally had to say those exact words at curling games.
It's like, so it'll come at a time of like, I know she's had a hard day and now we're losing this curling game, which I'm sure isn't fun, and they're like celebrating way too much for this like wreck curlingly, and so she'll be
And
like,
I'm really competitive.
she'll just be like, what's with your guy? Like, why is he so like this? And I'm like, ha ha ha.
Grace is like, she's joking, isn't she funny?
She's so
like, she's so funny. As I'm like just staring them down, and Grace is like, she's just such a joker.
She's just like a little pit bull, and I'm like, ha ha ha.
Can I just say, Linnea, you are such a Cancer.
Oh, thanks.
It sounds so bad.
Holy shit! Wow. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, you guys. We have 2 more segments to get to before we wrap.
Oh my
And
God.
I don't even want to wrap with you because I want to keep. You got to come back on. This is not the end. This is not the end. This is just the beginning. It is time for the rant segment. I need to rant.
Oh. Okay.
We're gonna
Wait,
do
because
rants.
it's rant and then it's unpopular opinion. See, I find these very similar.
They are very similar.
Okay.
I think the difference, and I've thought about this because I
Okay.
am thinking about my segments and how to restructure them. The difference between the rant and the unpopular opinion, rants are a little more universal. Probably if you're ranting about something, someone agrees with you. The unpopular opinion is like, this is one that's like polarizing.
Okay, that's fair.
Hopefully.
Gotcha. Okay.
All right.
Cool.
Do you guys have anything to rant about? What is on your mind? What is bugging you?
Do you want to go first?
Oh. Are you ready to go first?
I have an idea of what I want to rant about, just
Okay.
because it's been happening to me
Okay.
today.
Yeah.
And in increasing frequency over the last little while.
Oh, shit.
I despise migraines. So I've had a migraine. Like, migraines I get semi-regularly. They're always on this side of my head. They're always right behind my eye. There's no amount of ibuprofen that truly makes them go away. I can just kind of numb the pain, but I always know it's there. And I would like to... This isn't so much a rant as a plea to the medical community. Why can't you fix it? Like, why have we just decided that migraines are a thing that people get and you should just get over it? Like,
Right.
that's not what we do with any other thing. And it's also, so you're just kind of left to be like, hi, I have this pain. I can't show you.
Do you know why?
Shit.
Do you know why? Because it's more likely for women to get migraines than men. And that's why
And
it
they don't
hasn't been
care about
fixed.
women being-
That's
yeah,
why
yeah,
it hasn't been
yeah.
fixed. It's like it's just your period. It's fine.
It's hormones.
But I've also had, like, my dad and my brother are, like, have always had migraines.
no, so it must be
my
kinda
mom-
genetic.
Yeah, like my mom gets migraines, my dad gets migraines, my younger brother gets them really badly. Though my younger brother Aiden, who's always got them, like it's just one of those things where like the doctor can't actually tell you what's wrong.
No, they can't.
They just tell you have a migraine, which
Like, bitch, tell me something I don't know. What the fuck?
And so So you just kind of have to like self-diagnose,
Yeah.
like, okay, what gives me a migraine? And so for like my younger brother, for example, it was always like eating not enough. So if he like skips a meal, he gets a migraine for the most part, or if it's like stress related. And for him, he's always just like, yeah, migraines are really easy. It's like blinding pain, and then I force myself to throw up, and then I'm better. And I'm just like, that's not how mine works. And he's like, oh, that sucks.
That's also
Like,
not easy.
no, but he's had them since he was a kid, so I think he's like, that's life. I didn't get migraines until like more recently. Like it's only kind of as an adult that I've started to get them. And I'm like, is it something to, because initially I thought it was like my sinuses. And I'm like, it's not my sinuses. Maybe it's something to do with my vision in my left eye. Like maybe I have to go see an optometrist.
Have you ever had cluster headaches?
So the only cluster headache I ever had, which I don't think it's really a cluster headache, it just like felt like it. I was 11 years old and my babysitter had gone to the Bahamas and she gave me cornrows. I had them in too long. And when I took them out, I was just like, wow, this is great. I couldn't emerge from the dark for many days.
Wow.
It was really, really bad.
Well, having your hair like tight like that, like tight ponytails will do it too.
Yeah.
Like if you're,
so that's the only time I've ever really had like a cluster
I
headache.
can tell you, last year I started getting them, and they call them suicide headaches
Yeah, that like if you get them chronically, they fuck you up.
because people literally want to kill. No, don't do that. They're
anything.
terrible.
Yeah.
They're terrible, and they're all in your eye. Like they feel like they're right behind your fucking eye. And it's literally like you just want to take a spoon and like scoop it out. Like it's like that's how bad it is.
Yeah.
It's you know what? Yeah, migraines are a baru- I don't know if I've ever truly had one. I've had headaches that I'm like, I'm pretty sure this is a migraine.
Yeah.
But I've never gotten nauseous from headaches.
Yeah.
Which I hear that's a huge thing with
It's
migraines.
a common symptom. I don't get nauseous too much, though I don't want to eat when I have them.
Yeah.
And then I like, but they're always behind my eye on the same side, and it's like a pretty like common symptom of like a migraine. Actually, the first day I worked at Podstarter, I had a massive migraine.
And it's the day
so
that I
funny.
knew that Eric was going, like that Eric was a really good boyfriend,
Yeah.
Grace's boyfriend. And it's like the moment that I, as the best friend, was like,
What did he do?
Yeah. Well, it's because I was supposed to be, so that night and it was Grace's first day of working because it had been the pandemic and she'd been off school.
I didn't want to bail because I was like, this is literally my first day at this office. I don't want to go home.
So it was a curling day,
Yeah.
though. And I had driven into the city and I had planned to spend the night at Grace's because it's what we usually do on curling night since I haven't been living in the city. And I walk in. Grace had texted me and been like, I have a really bad migraine. She's like, my brother's going to curl for you tonight. It's all good. I'm like, okay, I'm just going to come by and drop off my stuff and I'll go straight to the club. I get there. It's like dark and it's quiet. And one of your brothers was there because his roof had collapsed in.
Oh yeah, Ben was there.
So Ben was
Forgot about
there,
that.
and Eric was there. The fairly fresh boyfriend. Yeah, we've been a couple months.
Like 3 months.
You guys are newer than I thought.
Yeah,
Yeah, Eric and
So-
we haven't been together a year yet.
Holy crap, that's
Close.
wild.
It's going on a year.
so fairly fresh. And I get in the house, and I see Eric, and he's like, Grace is really not okay. He's like, she's not okay. He's like, I'm gonna take her some juice, and like, she's not okay. And I was like,
He force-fed me fruit.
and so then I go, and so I say, because I know Grace, I'm friends with Grace. I don't really know this guy, but I'm like, he's friends with Grace. He must be like me and Grace. And I'm like, little bitch, can't even handle one full day of work, and like she's gonna and he was like, and he goes, no, she's really sick. She's not okay. And I was like, oh my God, I'm joking. Like I was totally kidding. Like I know she gets like I'm sorry. I immediately go to the living room, use that material on Ben, and he's like, fuck, I know, right? Yeah. And I was like, and that's the reaction I was looking for. Thank you, Bennett McNutt. Like, that is.
But he cared about you so much.
Oh,
yeah. I was feeling so miserable, and like he was going to leave for Alberta soon, so like a big chunk of our relationship we did via distance.
That's
Anyways,
wild.
he like was just like, do you want me to come by, or would you rather just be alone and like sleep in the dark? And I was like, can you come by, but also like I'm gonna be like miserable. I'm gonna be like,
like, can you be here but also
snotting
fuck
and
off?
be in
Yeah.
pain and stuff. And he was just like, yeah, absolutely. He just like laid next to me in the dark for about 4 hours.
But that's sometimes that's what you need, and
That's
like
what
that's
I want.
what's
I didn't want to
perfect.
be alone.
Yeah.
He's very nice.
Yeah, it's been almost a
He's way too
year,
nice
and there
me.
is no one I could like. There is no better boyfriend I could ask for a best friend. Like he is so lovely, and both my like 2 best friends. I won't say who they are because my other friends might be offended that I'm not calling them best friends. But my 2 best friends have lovely boyfriends.
Right.
They have lovely partners who care for them and are incredible, and they are so lucky. And like as like a friend, like that's all I could want for them. Like and Grace and Eric. Oh,
Does it give you hope?
yeah. I'm not. I'm not quite so jaded. I haven't lost hope yet.
Oh, you haven't?
No.
Oh, good. That's just me.
Okay, time out though, because I do sometimes get texts that are like, "Hi, I'm gonna be alone forever." So,
I was
like,
gonna say, I feel like
it's momentary moments of doubt.
It's true.
Momentary
It's
moments of
momentary
doubt.
moments of doubt
Fair.
where I'm like, I call my mom and I'm like, hey, like if I'm 40 and like I'm not married and have a baby, will you help me buy a baby? And she's like, Jesus Christ, Linnea, yes, I'll help you buy a baby, and then hangs up.
I love the
Lord,
first reaction of Jesus Christ, but yeah, I'll help you.
Of course, I love
Yeah,
you.
let's
Yeah.
start the savings account
And she's
now.
like, but you're not gonna have to worry about that. She's like, that's not gonna
not.
happen. She's like, it's
You're
fine,
not.
everything's fine. And I'm like, okay.
but I will say, if you are a single person, I guess I'm speaking from 10 years alone. So I'm truly just like, yeah, I'm nesting to die alone. Like whatever nesting I do, there's not a partner in it in my mind because
But there's your little baby in the bedroom.
But I can't want it because if I want it, I won't get it.
Yeah.
So
I will
so
say,
my
I
thing
did
is
meet
I'm
Eric.
nesting.
I did meet Eric after like having previously gone on like the worst first date of my life and being like, wow, maybe the world is terrible.
Right.
But then I met Eric and I was just like, oh, he's like nice to me. Like that's a nice starting point. And I was
Yeah.
like, oh, we have things in common.
Well, I think that's actually part of it. Is actually
Yeah.
accepting partners in that you're like we kind of touched on it in the last episode, like not just going for the bad people, like the toxic people that give you the adrenaline,
Yeah.
and just going like, oh
Yes.
yeah, I deserve to have someone be nice to me. So
Yes.
many of my girlfriends
Honestly.
recently, one of my girlfriends recently got into a new relationship, and she was bugging the shit out of me at the start because she kept trying to sabotage it, and I just kept telling her like, you are allowed to enjoy to be treated well.
Yeah.
Stop pushing
Yeah.
it away because you think you're stuck in this narrative of like, who am I? This guy is being nice to me.
Yeah.
Who am I?
Well,
and it's just like, just embrace it.
We've been told forever that that's settling.
Yeah.
You're settling for someone who's not exciting and isn't a roller coaster every single day.
Right.
And it's like, I don't want turns out
It
I don't want a roller coaster.
Yeah.
I
It
want a
should be
nice
one.
escalator.
Yes.
Escalators are exciting and fun.
An escalator with a thing at the top,
and
the
he's 6
foundation.
foot. It's great.
God, that's
It
fascinating.
has, and even before you met Eric, just kind of your mentality on relationships and things you've made me believe and forced me to believe, especially getting out of my previous relationship. Like, you have done such a great job as a friend of reassuring me that I deserve good things and that I should be happy.
Right?
And that I should be happy. Yeah.
You need that. You need someone
Yeah.
to tell you,
And-
remind you that.
But Grace has had to like beat it into my head with a hammer and be like,
hope not
you
literally.
don't have to be.
Not yet.
You don't have to be miserable. You don't have to be unhappy. You're in a situation that's making you unhappy. Like, you don't have to stay for, like, you don't owe
Yeah.
anything to anybody
It
but
should-
yourself.
It should always be that simple.
Yeah.
it should.
Like,
but,
are you sad and like unhappy constantly? Like, there's moments that are hard in relationships, but
Yeah.
like, does this person make you feel less than? Then get the fuck out. Like,
Yeah.
that person
Oh my God.
is not
But
worth
that-
your time.
But so much of that is self-care and self-love, because I truly do think if you're not working towards loving yourself, you're going to
It's true.
stay in that pattern.
Yeah.
So doing things like passion projects, like having a podcast that you really like, having a good friendship, seeing examples of like good relationships around you, like all of that's going to help you get to the point where you go, oh yeah, okay, like I'm actually going to like be open to like finding something good.
yeah,
Yeah.
and like pour yourself yourself into the world that is around you constantly, because it's not about getting to this goal of finding someone. Like those things are worth doing because they are worth doing, and they will make you happy no matter what.
Yeah.
Like
so
it doesn't.
true.
It's like it's not an end means to an end. It's just like being yourself.
That's right.
In a place that makes you happy is like enough.
Dang.
That is enough.
Wow. Yes.
And then I think you like when you are happy with yourself, you do attract people to you.
That's right. That's right.
And they may not be romantic partners, but they could be like the coolest platonic friends you'll ever meet.
I also do truly think we talk about like addictions a lot. We talk about workaholism. We talk about like, you know, like I'm a love addict. I'm a big time love addict. But like, another addiction is an addiction to drama, and a lot of people have it. And you're literally addicted to the feeling you get in your body when you're pissed off at a guy, or you're fighting with a guy, or you really want to bang a guy. It's the same feeling.
Yeah.
And it's
like an
fucking
adrenaline
toxic.
rush. And it is also like, I think there's a little insecurity of like, if I don't have this going on, what do I have to say?
Yeah, I need stuff to talk about.
Definitely. Yeah. Well, and for me, it's also like I have a fairly large savior complex. Like I want to help people and I want to fix them and I want to make them better and I want to take care of them, and I'll allow all of your bullshit and all of your crap to like weigh me down because if I can make you better, like that fulfills me. But that's, ladies and gentlemen, that is not sustainable, and that is how you crash and burn.
Good. You brought it around.
Yeah.
You brought it around.
So I've learned, and I'm slowly learning, and it's hard, and it is
So
a
hard.
struggle.
Because it's such a journey of self-doubt where you're like, am I being a bad friend right now, or am I taking care of myself? And sometimes those are the same thing.
Are you guys into self-help books?
Unfortunately. Not really.
There's
No.
I have read one. I've read.
Grace is like, I don't need
The
that.
Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck.
The Subtle Art of Not Giving a
we both
Fuck
read that.
is
Grace
great.
gave it to me for my birthday.
It's not because of that. It's just because I don't read.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
See, I would have assumed that you would have read.
You
I
read
read-
history books.
I
You read
read
'cause you
academic literature a lot.
Right.
And so when I'm in my downtime, I'm like,
I do read, but I wouldn't quite go as far as to say smut, but I still enjoy a good a young adult fiction.
Can I tell you?
Were you into Twilight?
I pulled one of the books from the. So I had a lot of Linnea's books at my place for a while. I pulled one of the books to read it. The Tattooist of Auschwitz.
Yeah.
I read it. That book is terrible.
It was so depressing.
It's so poorly written.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was.
That book is like, it's like, let's leverage the Holocaust to sell some books.
Yeah.
It's so bad.
Oh, God.
That's my unpopular opinion.
There it
The
is.
Tattooist of Auschwitz is awful.
It has bad reviews.
Good.
Like,
Good.
not a good book. Good.
Good. It's a bad book.
Oh my god.
They're just like, because it's just like, I'm sorry. There's just like no character development.
No, I didn't like it. You don't have to like. I
Okay,
didn't
okay.
like it.
I wasn't sure.
No, I
didn't
read
wanna
it. It was
be mean.
gifted to me.
Okay,
I
good.
did not buy it. It
Okay,
was
good.
gifted to me, and I really didn't like it. I mostly just thought it was that I've read a lot of historical fiction, and I just didn't find it interesting. Like I was just
you
like,
were right to feel
I
that.
already
It's bad.
know. Like I actually know about the Holocaust, so I don't need like this weird book.
Yeah.
About
Right.
It's bad. It's emotional highway robbery.
it is emotional highway
'Cause
robbery.
it's like,
You get
let's-
invested.
Let's present you a topic that you're gonna be feel emotions about already. That's how I felt about the movie The Fault in Our Stars.
Oh, I haven't
Emotional
seen
highway
that.
robbery.
Oh, is
because
it?
like the movie is not good. I didn't read the book, but
No.
the movie's not good.
I
Okay.
will say John Green needs to stop making his books into movies because they are so damn good, his books, and that's where they need to live.
That's-
Like
they can stay
people
there.
stop needing to make the movies because they're just better as books. Like the endings are always a little bit different because they tried it anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
He's definitely a better author.
Read the books.
Savior complex.
Yeah.
Savior complex. That's
Yeah.
I've heard. So is okay. I feel like this could just be a whole other tangent. We got to get to your rant though.
Yeah.
What is your rant?
Oh God.
What is bugging you?
Okay, so it's rant and then
Unpopular opinion.
damn. See, that's more like.
But you can mash them together if you want. If they're very similar.
Okay. Well, I'll branch this off into different
Okay.
topics. So this is like a unpopular opinion, ranty type deal.
Don't hate me for this, but it's time for an unpopular opinion.
People annoy me. people annoy me and people bother me and people bug me, and I don't like people a lot of the time, and I tend to always work. The podcast is probably the only thing I do that is not directly like service facing, like directly like people facing. I waitress on weekends and I work in a public relations and communications position. So I like deal with a lot of people. And what the fuck is people's issue with pineapple on pizza? Like, I am not saying you should have pineapple on your pizza. I'm not saying you shouldn't have pineapple on your pizza. Why do we care? If people want pineapple on their pizza? Grace loves pineapple on her pizza.
That's great.
I know people who don't like pineapple on their pizza. I just don't understand. Like, we have pepperoni on our pizza. We have cheese on our pizza. We have green peppers on our pizza. No one talks about mushrooms. I think mushrooms are disgusting. I don't want them on my pizza. But pineapple is where we draw the line.
From my later like days on dating apps when I was on them, that was so often the thing. It's like, my interesting fact about myself is that I don't like a certain food. And I'm like, that's not interesting, but it also tells me a lot about you.
Yeah. So thank you for sharing that.
Or you're too scared to actually tell me something about yourself.
But it's other people and society as a whole deciding that we're not, like, we have to have a conflict over something. Yes. And I just don't understand. I'm like, why? Like,
let's
why?
have a real conflict about something that's important.
That's something about something that matters. Like, not what you want on your pizza. Like, it's, yes, I want to know. When I go to a pizza place, I want to be able to say what I want on my pizza. If you want anchovies, go for
nuts.
it.
Do your thing.
I don't care. Like, you go to Subway and you have all these toppings. Nobody's going to be like, oh my God, you want banana peppers on your sub? Like, I love banana peppers. I hate banana peppers. It doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
Like, I get
we
that.
could never be friends.
I get
it's
that.
Like, are you a monster? Like, what's wrong with you?
I get that pineapples are like a fruit and like a, and more of a like tropical fruit. And I get that that sounds kind of interesting and different for pizza. But like, get over it.
Get over
it. And
Get
so
over
it's like,
it.
I think it's like, I don't know if it's an unpopular opinion, but I think it is a bit of a rant, is that I'm tired of people spending their time focusing on those things than all the other shit that's going on in the world.
Good one.
Just have whatever you want on your pizza.
I have to just say, a life changer. I know we all talk about pineapple on pizza. My producer Sarah agrees with us. Pineapple on motherfucking nachos. Try it.
Henry House does their standard nachos.
It has pineapple on it.
So does Alexandra's.
And
Same
it's so
thing.
good. They also
it.
do a pineapple on, you can get pineapple on nachos at, where did I take you next to Rugby Street Station?
El Chino.
El Chino.
Oh, nice. That's where I did my first photo shoot for the podcast.
Oh, that makes sense.
The bar there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I love, their
coming
dumplings.
Ooh,
Yeah.
shit.
Their food was good.
So good.
I liked it a lot.
So good.
Yeah.
Also, like pineapple on burgers. Like pineapple
Yes.
goes on
Sweet and salty.
savory a lot.
Sweet and salty. Sweet and salty is amazing.
Yeah, pineapple on the barbecue.
Yes. Grilled
Kebabs.
pineapple.
Yeah, kebabs. Yeah.
Grilled
so good.
pineapple.
Yes.
your mind,
So get over it.
Get over it.
That's my only, that's my thought.
Yeah.
Get over it.
I agree.
Is there anything though that like you're like is a weird thing about you that you're like if someone doesn't agree with me on this, then I might not count them out, but you're like
Like a weird thing.
oh, like a weird opinion.
Like if you're like racist, I feel that way. Yeah. But, I don't know if that's that's the same thing.
Oh, well, okay. So like this is like a little bit like more serious, but I'm just completely over people saying the R word and using it as like I'm just like over, like we're over it. It's 2021.
Yeah.
There are so many other words. I worked at a high school in Shelburne when I graduated from university. I worked as a community support liaison, and my office was in the high school. And because I was young, I got a lot of the like high school kids would come in. So I had the group of kind of like weirdo grade 7 girls who would come in on their lunch, and like the high school kids because it was right next to the gym, and I was like young and cool. And but and Shelburne is a area that deals with a lot of poverty, simply, and a lot of miseducation and lack of kind of social education in some aspects. And the kids would come in and constantly just like, this is our word, this is our word, this is our word, this is our word. So I printed off a list of 100 other words that you can use other than the R word. And they thought it was hilarious at first because they'd be like, you baboon. Like they just pick like random words like off the sheet. But I was like, that's fine.
That's
I was like, that's the point. Like there are 100, at least, just 100 other words that I thought of that you can use other than that word. Like, do you know what that means? Do you know how that makes people feel? Yeah. And so like an education piece. But yeah, I'm over that.
It's pretty dumb. It's pretty bad.
Yeah. Over that. So
Yeah. It's a good one.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's like something that's like a really red flag to me.
I have one, which is not a big fan of people who think brunch is 10 a.m.
Oh.
It's later than that. You think?
Brunch is from 11 until 3.
As someone in the service
fair.
industry, I will tell you brunch is from 11 till 3.
Thank you.
Yeah, as someone in the
was
service
really loud.
industry,
Places don't open before 11 most of the time.
that's the brunch hours.
I just don't like.
that it's breakfast.
Yeah, you're getting up for breakfast at 9. You're saying let's go to brunch. Just say you're going to breakfast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no shame in that.
Yeah, I think people think that you can't have alcohol at breakfast, but I'll tell you otherwise.
Yeah, really
you can have
though.
alcohol whenever
You
you
sure
want.
Whenever you want. In that coffee.
Yeah.
Guys, this was a fucking blast. We do have to wrap just because.
Oh my goodness.
I know we're at
goodness.
almost an hour 40.
Wait.
I'm trying to keep
however,
them tight.
we just did unpopular opinion.
Oh yeah, do you have?
I
you
have
have
one?
Oh
It's
yes,
in
let's
a
do it.
similar- It's in a similar vein.
She's a good
to
one.
Linnea's.
Let's do it.
Mine is like it's very similar to Linnea's, but it's just like people who like get grossed out by like milk. Like, get the fuck over yourself. Like, I like milk. Like, I'll have like a solid glass of milk sometimes. But like a full adult grown people who are like, oh my god, milk's disgusting. I'm like, get the fuck over yourself.
And we're not
I'm
talking
drinking your whole goddamn
We're not
life.
talking about vegans. We're not
No.
talking about like choices that you've made to
If
not
you're,
drink
like,
milk.
lactose intolerant.
I
or
have a
whatever,
dairy
totally
intolerance, and there is nothing I would love more than to sit here and like chug a glass of milk. Like, I swear to God, I dream about it. I dream about yogurt, like just like eating a like Greek yogurt, like stirring up the fruit on the bottom and like eating that. But I just know I'll feel so awful.
I'm just so confused as to when we decided milk was gross.
Yeah, when was that? That's a
Because
good
like
point.
I drink like 3.5% milk. Like I drink
Fuck yeah.
milk.
Yeah.
Like, I think my theory is that like people who grew up on skim milk think milk is bad because you're not drinking milk. You're drinking water with
Yeah.
like milk essence.
Also, right now, like plant-based milks are so fucking trendy.
Yeah, and I get it.
So
like
trendy.
dairy's bad. Like
Yeah, it's not
dairy is
great.
horrible
It's a bad
for
industry.
the
It's a
environment.
bad industry.
And it like is terrible to animals. And I
It is.
appreciate that. I'm not saying
but that's
that.
not
Yeah.
milk's fault.
But that's not milk's fault. Like milk is like so good and full of like nutrients and stuff. And I feel terrible because my boyfriend, he's like kind of coming to the realization that he's like lactose intolerant. No one is a bigger milk advocate than my boyfriend.
I wouldn't even say milk. It's dairy. That boy loves some dairy.
He'll be like
he
pouring
loves-
like a pint glass that size of milk
Oh.
and drinking it.
He's like cheese and cream and
I mean, it is delicious. It's a lot of the most
my
delicious
stomach's
things
hurting
in the world.
talking about it.
I know, right? I can do cheese. I can stomach cheese, but ice cream, full milk.
I
Yeah.
haven't had ice
okay.
cream or a glass of milk or a yogurt in almost a year.
Yeah.
Is your tummy better though?
Yeah.
Feeling
Oh,
better? Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, exactly. It's
100%.
a good choice.
My doctor actually, by her recommendation, said if you don't want to cut it out completely, make sure you don't. So she's like,
Yeah.
if you're ever, because if you cut it out
This is good for
completely,
Eric to know.
you can get really sick. You can get like, it's really hard. Like if you introduce it a little bit, like you'll get very, very ill.
Right.
So for that, there's a cat.
The
Everybody.
cat came out.
and yeah.
So cute.
But anyway, so I don't,
allergic.
if I go to a restaurant and I'm getting a meal for myself, I'm not going to order the thing that is like 5 cheese ravioli soaked
Right.
in cream. But if I'm getting nachos, I'm going to get cheese on them and I'm going to eat it and I'm going to enjoy it. And like, sure, my tummy
Yes.
might hurt a little bit later, but
Worth
I'm
it.
not, but I don't believe in depriving myself. It's
Sorry.
not,
I'll
an
do ice
allergy.
cream knowing that it's going to be followed by
See,
explosive diarrhea.
I
as long
can't.
as I
I
just
can't.
go home
I can't do-
after me and Sarah both are like, we love ice cream, but we have to be on the way home eating
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And like get to the home fast enough.
like your cat came out when we started talking about milk. So that's all I'm saying.
Your cat is
Like,
perfect.
she was also power posing on me. She was like fully like, and I was like, absolutely, queen.
She is my daughter. She's
the cutest
I
thing in the
literally,
world.
I could have birthed her. Truly, we have the
wish
same
I wasn't
energies.
allergic
We have
to
the
that.
same anxious, weird energies.
You have the same eyes too.
Aw.
She even has the eyeliner.
She does. I know. I birthed her. She's my daughter.
I wish I wasn't allergic to cats so bad.
I want to rub my face in her, but I'll die. I took drugs
Don't
just to
die.
be here today.
That's my suicide choice. If I had to pick,
Death by cat. Yeah. Death by cat. Death by cat cuddles.
Assisted suicide. Cats just all over you till you suffocate.
I fucking love that. Okay, but yeah, this was just so much
fun.
fucking fun.
Yeah.
I feel like we've only like scraped the surface of like what we could talk about.
we're so deep.
So you'll have to come back on. But oh my
Yes.
gosh, you guys gotta check out Minute Women. Please go subscribe right now. Where can they find you guys and Minute Women and plug away?
So
all the things.
the best spot to go is just our website, which is
Yes.
minutewomenpodcast.ca. There you can find the links to all of our social medias and our merch store.
Yes, you got some great merch.
Yeah, which is the best way right now to financially support the podcast.
Yes.
Us.
Oh, I'm gonna get one.
Yeah, it's so
I'll get
fun.
one. Yeah.
And then the best way to show us support if you're an Apple Podcast user is to write us a review.
Rate, review.
What she
the
said.
Subscribe.
What
Yeah.
she said. It's truly, you guys, I don't think people realize some inside podcast info. If you
impacts
leave
the
a
algorithm.
rating or review and you subscribe, like you are doing the things that is going to push your podcast to the charts.
Yeah, no,
And that's what you want.
There's a reason people harp on it so much, and it
Yeah.
truly, truly matters. Like
Yeah.
The
rate and
algorithm
review the podcast.
makes a huge difference. So please, if you have the ability, we would love it if you leave us a review or a rating or both. That would be awesome. And subscribe.
That said, if they're bad, don't.
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
5 stars
Funniest
only.
thing ever, Canadian
Just
politics is boring. Like that they put their bad ratings on their merch.
I love it. Just
So they've
bad
gotten
and dumb is
just
my
bad and dumb.
favorite
Yeah, they
review.
got a review that just said just bad and dumb. And so they made merch with 1 star that just says
somebody-
just bad and
'Cause,
dumb.
like Reese came on our podcast shortly after they had received that. It's just so funny to hear Reese say it particularly.
I know.
'Cause He's just like, well, it just said dumb and bad. I was just like, wow.
And he's like, so we put it on a shirt. And it's really quite funny, you know?
I'm clipping this for him, just so you guys know.
It's really quite funny.
I love when Reese gives me a call sometimes to like tell me about stuff. He's like, how's it going? Yeah, okay. That's really good, right? How's it going? Yeah, okay. So I'm trying to find I'm trying to find the notes for Dig This. This is what he was telling me about the other day. Yeah. And I was just like,
I
oh,
love
it's
it.
here. Sorry. about
It's
that.
always how's it going. It's always how's it going. That's how
He's just like, it's like you called him.
yeah.
It's like he's so startled.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you called me.
You waited at least 2 rings. You had time.
I'm dead.
Other than that, he
It's so
just
funny.
texts me photos of Rosie, who is his
You've
puppy.
missed Rosie.
I
Rosie started
know.
coming into the
Ugh,
office.
I'm so sad.
I know. She's so cute.
My fellow caper.
Yes. Oh my god.
Oh,
Can
anyways.
people follow you guys personally too?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Instagram.
Oh my gosh.
Plug your Instas.
Mine is.
Mine
yours
is.
private?
But
Mine
yours
is
is
private,
private?
but I'll
if
probably
you throw
accept
me a
it.
follow and you don't look like if you're not just like a neck down, I'll probably accept you.
Also, if you leave a rating or review and send it to Linnea, she's more likely to let you.
100% slip
Oh, yeah.
in the DMs and tell me you want to follow me. That's
Slide
the way
into my
to do
DMs.
it.
Yes, DMs
But
are open.
I'm at Lynn Swin on
Yes.
everything.
Great.
And I'm at B Grace McNutt, so like the letter B, Grace McNutt.
Because you want to
Amazing.
be Grace McNutt. We all want
I
to
mean,
be
I think
her.
we do.
You don't.
And that's for
that
next time on part 2 of the.
where you find out we're not that great.
This was so fucking fun. Thank you guys so much for
you
being
very
on
so
this.
fun.
I adore you
fun.
both. You're both amazing. And you get to end the episode with a bell ring. So hold it up between you two. Okay. And bring it together.
We gotta go like.
You like to me too. I'm excited.
Let's end it. There we go. There we go. Hour 44. We did it. Thank you for
for listening to the Intoxicated Podcast. If you enjoyed this week's episode, make sure you subscribe on whatever podcast app you use and leave a rating or review on Apple Podcasts. You can also give us a follow on Facebook and Instagram at Intoxicated Podcast and check out our video episodes on the Intoxicated YouTube channel. Until next week, feel hard and talk hard. Intoxicated Podcast is hosted and produced by Sarah McClellan, co-produced by Sarah Nicole, and brought to you by the messiness of life.